Really looking forward to some good permaculture back in here. This is a nice area. There's some ferns over on the one side. This part doesn't have much growing here at all. There's some invasive barberry that I'll get rid of because I find that stuff incredibly obnoxious. It is taking over whole swaths of Connecticut, so I don't really want it here. This is some farm object of unknown usage. I believe that top part there was a hitch onto the back of somebody. And then whatever the base part is, if anybody has a clue, whatever it was doing back there has disconnected or rusted off, and I don't really see any signs of that. Here's, yeah, okay. I might have a whole selection of farm equipment to hang up somewhere or another, along with that wheel that I showed you the last time. A new feature. This is a sapling that a tree fell down and pulled it down, and now we have a little tunnel. How cool. New England. We have stone walls all over the place here. Farmers use them to demarc livestock areas and sometimes roadways, paths. I suspect this whole area in here was at one time cultivated, and then down there it starts to drop off a little bit, so they probably didn't really want to cultivate the slope. Weird rock. That's about the size of two people's heads, and it looks like it's glistening, like it's wet, and there's oozes coming out. Let me just get closer to see what we think. It's all damp. All damp. I know it rained yesterday, but except for where the moss is on these rocks, which will hold water, none of these other rocks are wet. Curious. I like that rock. Okay. Okay. The wall stops here. There's sort of a gateway down, and then over there the wall continues again. So there's sort of a gateway here. I'd like to put up a trellis here. I think a nice bamboo or some sort of a rustic wood type trellis would really set the spot off. Find some shade tolerant vines to go behind it. Not poison ivy, please. And it'd be kind of fun. Also scouting out places where it might be nice to do some plantings with things that can tolerate a little bit of shade. I think some lettuces, if you try to harvest them early, would work, although not with all the pine covering down here. The pine is the wrong type of acidity for most veggies, but I'm going to see if there's some things in the world of permaculture that would be handy. And that's where the fence just starts to turn to the right, and another glistening rock here. Notice they're all quartz. They're doing this. Although, let's see, this, yeah, that one's doing it too, up there. And if we have parts of quartz in a rock, yep, they're wet. Something about quartz. I have to study up on my geology, I guess. And there's the sign for the Nature Conservancy. We're at one of the borders. If you go straight back that way and then curve over this way, this part of the rocks are basically the marking between my line on the right and there on the left. Cool neighbors. All right. I came down that path that went through where I want to put the trellis up, the break in the stone wall, and Yes, nice old dead trees down here. Some live ones too, but this is kind of a cool shape with the roots. And this branch has fallen over this last winter. It was upright before. The other part of this tree is not doing too well either, but I expect that to go in a couple years. At any rate, down past that, I'll bring you closer, is my stream, which starts at a spring at the top of the hill. So I'll get you closer in a second. There's my stream. Traveling from north to south, more or less. It's rained recently, so it's actually pretty active. And I will be putting bridges across in a couple spots. Basic, simple, wooden plank bridges. Wide enough that I don't get nervous. Here we are, coming down the stream. I walk down a little ways and find a rock to sit on and soak my feet. Ooh, baby, this stuff is cold. I'm not staying here that long. But it does cool the rest of me down. Oh, yes. Possibly this area here. No pine leaves or anything, and not that much undergrowth. Could be sort of a permaculture zone with things to eat. We'll see.